Hey, what's happening, all you lovely people out there in YouTube land? It is Eli and just Eli. I realize I didn't put up anything on the board, so I apologize. But hey, I'm going to move over there and we'll get kicked off with tonight. Hey, I'm over here now. Little sips of... All right. Little sips of root beer, diet root beer. Want a diet. Gotta lose some... My screen is being funky. We'll try something here. Y'all bear with me. I'm going to go black for a second, and then I'm going to try to bring back that camera source. Hopefully that'll work better. Alright. Well, it's still just glitching. Just a glitching. Alright, so that's going to freeze that up. Oh, goodness. Let's try this one more time. Alright, and then let's see if this fixes it.
The biggest thing I want to avoid is whatever was glitching. Quit glitching. Hot dog, I think we're there. Alright, we'll get the little square box to go away.
I'll probably need to readjust this as well. See the high quality entertainment you guys get with me tonight? Alright, you stay there. Hopefully we can resume our regularly
scheduled programming. Alright. And I just realized that I need to switch this over to... Yep, so we'll delete that. Delete that. Because you guys pay for single player. And we have a...
Oop. My apologies. Thanks for pointing that out, Daniel Baca. Where would I be without you, brother? Alright, let's add that. We'll get there, guys, I promise. We will get there. I got one camera up. Put that there. And then put that there. Top tier entertainment, folks. You get what you pay for. So if you'd like for this to be better, I don't know that paying for it does anything more. Alright, why is that not doing what I wanted to do? It's a good shot of, what's her name? Greta? Hey, look at her. Good old Greta. Greta Thunberg. Alright, now we're back in business. Okay, sorry about that. Little minor technical difficulties. Let's see if I made it onto the screen. Get another sipperoonie of some old Diet Dr. Pepper. Make sure I'm on the camera. There he is, the big red bearded oaf. Cool. Who we got in here? I see Mr. Crawford, Daniel Bacher, Roger Caldwell, Kyle Jones, Bill Corey BC 65925, Jeff Woodring, Jeff Killian, Bobby Lonis, Eric at the Pumpkin Patch, Kyle Jones, if I didn't already say Kyle Jones. Is that everybody that we got? Wonderful. Love seeing all your smiling faces, even if it is virtually on the YouTubes. Better get my apron out so I don't look like a fool. How is everybody's weekend, whatever time frame you might be on? Hey, there we go. Hey, let's dust off the old apron here. Get it up and going. If I can't unravel it. Oh, good. Dad's here, so nobody will listen to me. Causing a ruckus. Hello. We got Brian, Vineyard Farmhouse. What is happening? All right, good deal. So, as is customary for my, I guess 2 years in a row of doing this now, we are doing a chili cook-off tomorrow at work. And last year, to take mine over the top, I made my own ladle. And it was a very nice ladle. I put a lot of work into it, and I did it on the live stream. And then we gave it away. It went to a really good cause. I believe it went to a kid with an illness of some sort. I don't remember. Dad can correct me. Right offhand, I don't remember. But there was I think it was a local kid, had an illness. They were giving stuff away, donating stuff to sell, auction off at charity. I said, hey, I made this really nice kind of serving spoon. It was about yay long, so it was a little bit bigger than just a little chili ladle. It was a pretty good sized serving ladle spoon, so really nice, really beefy. So we gave that away for the auction. So I'm making a pot of chili tonight for our competition tomorrow. And I said, wait a second, I don't have me a hand forged ladle, and I'm not going to sit there and tell everybody that I'm a blacksmith and then show up without a hand forged ladle. So that, my friends, will be tonight's project. So I got myself a circle cut out from a plasma cutter. I believe this is from a Roy, Jess, and Thomas Goody Moot over at Christ Center Ironworks. So I got a ladle blank, and then haven't decided yet. Found this little piece that's got a pre-made cue on the end, but that wasn't really how I was planning to do it. So I don't know if I will keep it or if I'll trash it and restart. But I'm going to use this guy, put a little bit of a fancy twist on it, and then have myself a serving ladle. So hopefully the ladle lives up to the chili and vice versa. So I'm going to poke a hole here in my fire. Nice little caving fire. And we'll get started on that. So grab myself a pair of tongs, get the fire back going. And while that is going, I'm going to grab the decent sized swage block and have that ready. That way you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I believe I'm going to take this big old rounding hammer, the Hans hammer, and get the crack-a-lacking on it. Heat it, beat it, and scoop some chili with it. How about that? Am I going to forge weld the handle onto it? Probably not. Probably be riveted. Mr. Bill Corey, I admire your enthusiasm. One of these days I will do it. I will say, you know what? I'm going to forge weld this handle on because Bill Corey told me to. And I listen to everything Bill Corey tells me to do. So yeah, I'm doing a smoked chili recipe. Doing it, excuse me, Doing it in a low sodium manner because I'm supposed to be kicking down my salt intake. The doctors found some potential heart issue, so I'm on a low sodium diet for a month, which sucks because everything is good is salty. And I always considered myself more of a sweets guy until I realized how much cutting out salt makes food suck. So that is for the past month. Been doing good for the most part. Weekends are a little bit more rough just because we've been at events and things like that. So during the week, I try to cut down a lot. And yeah, it's fun. But everything seems to be fine. They're just concerned because of our family's heart issue history that they might see something that kind of resembles that hereditary. So basically kind of switch some diets and stuff around and see if that changes anything. If not, we'll go from there. So, yeah, welcome to our world, brother. Yeah, I know. I'm starting to. I always brag because it never fails. Dad and Michelle, that's where Dad's at currently. Dad and Michelle are at the hospital. Never fails that somebody in our family is in the hospital every once in a while, every week or so. So I always kind of bragged. I was like, I'm the only one that seems to be unaffiliated and unafflicted. And here I am, being afflicted. So, yeah, definitely using a lot of Mrs. Dash on stuff. So my chili is going to be with low sodium broth and low sodium seasonings and spices, and won't go heavy on the salt when I season it. So, yeah, it'll still be good. I'm going to stick the meat in the smoker overnight, and then got everything I got was like fire roasted tomatoes, fire roasted corn. So toss in some bell peppers and jalapenos and some stuff like that. Make it a little meaty, a little heaty. Right now, it's time to shut up and do a little beating. So there you go. Starting to dish it out a little bit. Get it all nice and dished up. So I'll work on the ladle part first. I did a little bit of time and ground around the edges to make it real smooth, so avoiding all that. Yeah, I've heard some MSG stuff, or seen some MSG stuff to add for for flavor and for seasonings as well, so we'll be fine. Everything will be all right. Other than that, so the good part about it was they said everything on you looks fine, and your blood levels, everything is good. Cholesterol, all that stuff was fine. Blood work, urine test, all that stuff was good. She said your blood sugar or your sodium levels are a little high. The biggest thing that but they wouldn't have normally worried about it. The biggest thing was just there was a kind of weird off reading on the EKG, and she said with a family history of heart problems, she said that's just cause for concern to check it out, make sure it's nothing too crazy. So there's that. I feel fine. I had nothing going on wrong or anything like that. I don't feel fine that I can't eat a bunch of freaking salt. Yeah, garlic. Do I put spouts on my ladle? No, not normally. We do have a couple blanks that have the little spouts on them. But normally I just make a good old-fashioned ladle. Good old-fashioned ladle. Just keep dishing it away now. Dish it away now. All that junk food at work. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that I know I'm not healthy. I know I could stand to lose some pounds and be a little bit more active. I'm sure all of us could probably say that. So it's just a time to wake up, be a little bit better about yourself. Doesn't water flush the salt? Yes. So I've also definitely been making sure I drink plenty of water as well. And again, that was one of the things too. She said on the urine test, she's like, "It looks like you drink water a good amount." And I was like, "Yeah, I try to best I can." Somewhat active in that aspect. Especially, being in the shop and forging and whatnot. Try to stay hydrated. So, yep, just probably 1 or 2 more rounds of dishing here, and then we should be ready to go with that. You see, starting to look like a ladle. And that's what we want. That is what we want. I was talking to somebody at work the other day about kind of like what we forge. And I said, we've kind of moved into a direction of mainly like decorative pieces, like we do the wall hooks and blanks and things like that, and then the kitchenwares. And I was like, yeah, the most part, I've honestly been cooking a lot of just either campfire cookware, general just kitchen cookware. And I've honestly just kind of found that that's the part that I enjoy doing is a lot of just like the cookware stuff. Kind of combines two things that I enjoy doing. I realized that. I was like, well, I enjoy, putting a pork butt on the smoker and smoking pulled pork and cooking and everything like that. And I said, so it makes sense that I enjoyed making the stuff to make the food. So it was real kind of funny. A little mini revelation, if you might say. Yeah, Eric, absolutely gorgeous. The supermoon is out tonight. I saw it a little bit last night when I was taking the dogs out. It was bright as the sun. Really cool to see. It's supposed to be really spectacular tonight, so looking forward to that for sure. For sure. I need to figure out a better pair of like kind of rounded tongs to hold ladles, because the flat tongs are not doing it so hot. Like that. right now, as our good buddy John Switzer would say, finishing up the fiddly bits here. Yeah, I mean, without full on just, making a press and die and all that good stuff. Just got to work it in the swage block. So, yeah, it's shaping up to be a ladle. I mean, it'll scoop some chili at this point, but let's do some kind of final finishes on it. Get the smaller rounding hammer to finish her up. Saw the comment last evening. That's really cool. I was definitely jealous of that. I didn't get a chance to see that. I didn't really pay much attention to it, but I didn't get a chance to see it either. Look forward to seeing some of you guys in April. Absolutely, Brian. It's shaping up to be a good year. We know a few of our normal returners are going to be back this year. The couple guys that weren't able to do it this year plan to be back this year. So we know our core group will be there, plus some more of our kind of secondary core group will be here, and then just other guys that have mentioned it from the talks in passing. I know a couple people we talked to in Indiana, a couple guys that were into blacksmithing or wanting to get into blacksmithing. We invited them. Both of them kind of were like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Put it on the calendar kind of thing. So hopefully a good turnout for sure. For sure. It's hopefully going to grow to one of those things that we'll outgrow where we're at. I did go to a really good, really nice event this past weekend. The Mayberry Farms Fall Festival, or Chuck Wagon Festival, as Dad kept pronouncing it, was awesome. If you guys are in Indiana or don't mind making a trek to Indiana, it's a one-day event, 12 to 9, and it is a blast. The guy that owns the farm that puts it on has about a 100-acre farm, and like 90 acres, but whatever. Kind of similar to what we've got here, but his place is immaculate. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's tucked back away on kind of on top of a little hill, and big flat plains of Indiana with some rolling hills to it. He's got 2 or 3 ponds. All of his stuff is all just brand new and well kept and just well done, man. He's a landscaper by trade, so just very, very, very pristine looking area. And so he puts it all on his farm. A little bit of his hay acreage he kind of transforms into a flat area to put up the chuck wagons. So yeah, I think 5 chuck wagons this year, all the way from a little mini chuck wagon about yay big to big full chuck wagon. And basically those people were making food the old-timey way and letting people try samples as they walk through, and they kind of talked about their chuck wagons and everything. So it was real neat to see just kind of the community there. Again, very kind of primitive living style people, so it was cool to see. I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to get one of these chuck wagons going at the gathering for sure. But other than that, then they had some Wild West kind of events. So they had some Wild West reenactment people. And they kind of put on a little show and song and dance for everybody, which was really cool. There was a couple other people that just kind of walked through. They had their horses. There's a guy went by Roy Rogers, and he had his horse Trigger. He was also a farrier, so he did a little bit of horseshoeing, which was really cool. And actually didn't have some stock he needed, so he came over and borrowed some stock off of us. Struck up conversation. Super nice guy. Other than that, there was John T. Wayne, the grandson of John Wayne. Super cool guy. If you guys don't already, go check him out on Facebook. It's just John T. Wayne. He's a super nice guy, very down to earth. Former military, loves the kind of Civil War stuff. So he wrote a couple books, and he was signing books and just kind of talking about faith, family, all that good stuff. It was really cool. They did square dancing They had some other food trucks you could go buy food from as well, which I got some pulled pork there. And some ice cream. It was really good. A couple other places they had a little Mexican restaurant and a little like drink shop type place. And then in the evening they had they had live music as well. So they had a live just guy on guitar, and then they had a guy or a live band, bluegrass string band, get up and play for a little bit. And then when it got dark, they had a crazy good fireworks show, like professional level fireworks show. And it was basically on the backside of this guy's pond. And it starts off, and it's like a Wild West sounding scene, and then all of a sudden, just this huge mushroom cloud fireball kicks off and starts the whole show. And I mean, it was, for those of you who have been here, it was down at the house as far away as it was, at like our house, and in the shop is where I was sitting across the pond, and we could all feel the heat. Just absolutely whoosh of heat come right at us. And then just put on a good 10, 15-minute professional fireworks display. So it was really cool. So yeah, if you guys get a chance, I know I posted some stuff up on our Facebook page as well. I saw Roger Caldwell mention. I said, yeah, I was in a cowboy hat too. I was trying to keep with the frontier theme of everything, so wore my cowboy hat and my my light jean button up. So kept the western theme going there. It was fun. It was a good time. So put that on the calendar if you guys don't have anything going on this past weekend, a year from now. It's a good time. It's the weekend after Canal Days, so it works out good for us. We get 2 events up in Indiana. Sold decently. Sold a bunch of stuff. Made a couple pieces, custom pieces for some people there. So it was really cool. I had a good time. It was kind of sad Dad couldn't be there, but it was a good time either way. So saw Will at Athol Ironworks came in. So good deal. All right, cool. Better get back to swinging a hammer. That's what you guys are here for. I could ramble on for a minute, not like I'm the son of a preacher or anything. Everything's still looking good on the stream. Nothing too crazy going on. Cool. Cool. So yeah, we got our good friends over at Sons of Toil, the brewery down the road from us. We're going to try to get some events going with them. Finish out the year, and then we've got our Village Christmas here in Lynchburg. Just got connected with another guy who puts on events on a local town about 25, 30 minutes away from us that is looking to get us involved with that as well. So looking to pick up some more events and shows throughout the year. So that'll be fun. Just finishing up, kind of putting the last little bit of doming and dishing on our ladle blank here, and we should be all right. Sometimes I feel like the most effective method is just keep hammering, and eventually you'll get to the shape you want into the dish there. You may not always have the tongs to hold it in exactly the same spot, but you'll get to the part you need. So that ought to do it. I don't know if I want to do too much more to that. Just kind of making sure everything is rounded here. Dad and I are in talks, once we kind of get everything up and going with some of the machining stuff, try to get our mill and our lathe going, about trying to just get some production pieces of ladles and skillets and things like that. So, spell check strikes again. Hey, Lauren, good to see you, man. Been a minute. Hey, talking is good too. Good to see you guys. So yeah, we just we've seen other guys, a couple other guys have done similar things, and I'm like, well, wait a second, we got all the tooling that we could do that, and we could make and sell our own line of skillets and pans and things like that. One, offer blanks and things like that, but two, being able to sell our own line of kitchenwares and things like that would be really cool. Again, kind of working on production stuff like we were talking about with like our shows and demos and things like that. We could probably make 100 fire pokers and 100 pair of fireplace log tongs, and we probably sell out at every event that we go to. For some reason, just stuff like that sells like crazy. So, we were like, well, if we're going to keep doing this and we want to be profitable, we got to make the stuff that sells. So, try to jig up and get that kind of stuff better prepared as we go into, we've been doing the shows and stuff for 4 years plus now. So, time to just kind of be like, okay, if we're going to keep doing this, we need to get it and get it right. So, hopefully trying to kind of upgrade and update some of our stuff as we always have been. But, this past year was just kind of past 2 years have really just been kind of rough with some of the farm stuff. I think now that what we've done with the farm and kind of made the change has opened up a lot of opportunity to get this stuff going. So when we kind of get the farm stuff back up and rolling, it'll be a lot better. So it just makes everything easier. We sold pretty much all of our equipment and bought brand new for hay equipment. Stick to only doing hay, and right now we're sticking to only doing pretty much custom hay work outside of a couple acres here on the farm. The rest of the farmland has been rented. So when the time comes, if we decide that we want to turn that all into hay ground or however we want to do it, or just keep doing that, roll that way. But it's a lot easier. Dad can not have to worry about beating and banging on stuff when he goes out into the field. And then, whenever I'm available to help on it too, it just makes it that much easier because then we got two hands working with brand new equipment. So it's in a good spot. Now we're going to get the shop completed. Now that we've got the setback of the roof kind of moving back in and getting everything back up and going. Just getting that stuff up and back and ready to roll. Get the shop finished up and we'll be a working, functioning shop. So, enough rambling on, as I like to do. Not sure where a butcher block brush is, so just want to clean this guy up a little bit. So there's that. We'll set him off to the side and just wait until that time comes, and I don't know. Wow, that already got heated up pretty quick. So I'm not sure yet on how I want to do this handle. I don't know that I'm going to keep the little curly cue that's already made on there, so I may just go ahead and chop that off. I'm not going to do a whole lot to it. Actually, what's the time on it? Because make sure that oh yeah, it's 34. I got plenty of time. Yes, Lauren, that's one of the things we talked about was doing one of those. I think we saw Timothy Dick doing that, where he puts the plate on, sticks it in there, and then just basically hot rolls the lip out. That was one that we talked about. I saw Housemade as a big press setup, which is just so nice. But again, still trying to keep to some of that forging aspect of it as well. So forging the handles and things. But yeah, just being able to kind of mass produce some of the discs and everything to make in pans. And again, just having a line of ready to rock and roll skillets and pans and things like that. So that's kind of our hope. Kind of get serious about some of the production work as well. So. Yeah, that was another thing too. Like the spoon and fork, I designed one out on the plasma cutter. Cut those out. Just tinkering around. I made the set, spoon and fork of it. I don't know if it's the final design, but I kind of beat and banged it together and put it up and sold it relatively quickly at the show in Canal Days, which kind of turned into hopefully something good. So the girl that bought them, what's up, Ben Strickland? Eric, hello, hello. Yeah, so the girl that bought them was a girl. I don't know if Dad's probably said this or not, but this girl, very very beautiful girl, came up and was like, "Hey, you guys are blacksmiths." She said, "Do you happen to have swage block? So I have a swage block with you." And my jaw and Dad's jaw both just kind of went, "What?" Because again, an attractive girl comes up and says something about a swage block. She knows what she's talking about. I was like, um, yeah, we sure do. And then she was like, "Do you have like a regular size one or just like a mini swage block or whatever?" And I'm like, "We've got two of like I'm dumbfounded at this point." I told Dad after she left, I was like, my babes were boozled. Um, so she asked about that, and so like, yeah, I showed it to her. She come to find out her dad and I think her brother as well were like very interested in trying to get into blacksmithing. The fact that we mentioned about them coming to the gathering next year, and both uh, their family kind of were like, yeah, that'd be a fun time. We'll have to put it on the calendar. So gave the info to her, and I was just like, yeah, I wrote down the info about what the swage blocks were, and gave her a card, and I just kind of was like, hey, the information's on there. Our information's there. The way to contact us is on there. Just making sure that was evident. And so she left, and I looked over at Dad, and I was like, what just happened? And he was like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Definitely should have got her number or something, but you never know. So I was like, okay. So like the rest of the day went on, and I literally I stopped the project I was doing. And I was like, dude, you're gonna have to take this. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. So anyways, about I don't know, maybe a couple hours later, she comes back, and this time she's with her sisters, and she's like, hey, these are my sisters, and we're just looking around, whatever, blah blah blah, telling about, she's like, my dad will probably be over at some point today before we get out of here, and she's talking, chatting back and forth, and I was in the middle of forging something at that point, so I again just kind of like stopped, and the hard eyes were flying off and all that good stuff, and yeah, so I was like just chatting with her. She's into like the Civil War reenactment stuff, and was showing us her like tent setup and everything like that for the Civil War reenactment and everything like that. And she's like, and I was looking for like a silverware set to go with it, and I had that silverware set. I was not planning on making that silverware set. I literally brought it just because I was like, well, I'm gonna throw a bunch of blanks in here, and if I get bored while we're at the show, I'll just start working on the blanks or whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So she's like, how much is it? I was like, I didn't even have a price on them. I was just like, I don't know, $25. Like that's probably undersold for what they were, but I was like, no, I don't care. Again, like I said, I was starstruck, bamboozled, befuddled, and whatever else. So I was like, okay, she's got her information. I gave her a card. Like, you got her info. She's like interested about the stuff that we're doing. I was like, okay, we'll leave it at that. Felt, okay. I don't have her number, but she's got our information, right? So I'm over there at this point. I'm just like, dear God, give me one more time. Give me one more chance, right? I'm like, dude, give me one more chance, right? I was praying. And so I was like, okay, whatever. So at least she's got our info, like, whatever. If she's interested, then she knows where she got the website, so whatever. So then towards the end of the day is winding down, I get what? I'm seeing a lot of people that went to the wedding. Get the digits. I'll get there. $1 if you give me your number. Hey, numbers on the website. So anyways, sure enough, this guy comes up towards the end of the day. We're kind of winding down. Forge is cold and everything like that. And he comes over and he starts chatting up a storm with us, and we're talking back and forth and just telling about, getting into blacksmithing. He and his son were talking about it. His son wasn't there, but he was talking about, getting in with his son and, what to do, what to get, where to get stuff, all this kind of thing. Next thing I know, here come the sisters and the mom coming back, and I was like, oh my God, this is her dad. Like, she's back, right? So I'm thinking, okay, get the number. I know, get the number. Be a man, get the number. So she comes over and she was like, "Yeah, I told you guys he'd come find you." So we were chatting it up, and Dad finally is helpful in one of these situations and says a line that, again, we probably all joked around or thrown around about me and the other young single guys in the blacksmithing community, that whenever she came over, he was talking, the dads were talking, and he said something to the dad of like, he said, "Yeah, when she said something about the swedge block, he said his jaw dropped. I thought he was going to drop down to forge a ring right there." And her dad went over and was like, "Well, I mean, the forge is cold, so." So I was like, wow, this is kind of funny. And then the sisters chime in and it was like, she is single. And Dad was like, he's single too. So next thing I know, they all just walk away. So like the whole family and Dad's walking with them, just like, all right, keep on, give him room. So I'm just like, again, I'm no lady killer by any stretch of the way. Like, I am just big and awkward like that. You all know me well enough. You've been watching me for 4 years. You know how I am. But I was like, okay, attractive girl. She's she knows her stuff. She's down to earth. I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna find a way to get her number. So we stood there and chatted for a second. And, just joked about the fact that parents were being embarrassing and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna kick myself in the butt if I don't get your number. I was like, if you don't mind. I was like, obviously I'm not trying to be playing into the whole like family forcing you to. Like, I was trying to be courteous, but at the same time I'm like, you're attractive. I'm not gonna lie, I want your number. So, but yeah, basically I was like, look, I'm gonna kick myself in the butt. This is the third time you've been back at the booth now. Like, I'm gonna kick myself in the butt if I don't get your number. So sure enough, I got her number. So that's about the end of the story. I sent her a text message and invited her this past weekend to the thing. She lives right, from what I understand, like close to where that event was. Not too sure where she lives, but know enough that she lives like close by to that area. So I invited her to it. Her and her family had a wedding to go to this weekend, so they couldn't make it out. But who knows? So call it a blessing from the Lord. Call it luck. Call it whatever you want. But I did get a girl's number, so yeah. Hopefully it goes somewhere. Again, very, very, very attractive girl. And I don't mean that in a creepy way, but Bobby, I doubt it. I don't know, because from what I can tell, she doesn't have like Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that. Not that I was trying to stalk or anything like that. Obviously, I looked up, not like creeping, but I was looking to see if she did. I didn't see anything, so I was like, okay, again, got her phone number, so hope for the best. Hope for the best. She's catching bouquets right now. Oh, shoot. Probably watching. Oh, you guys are funny. Hey, but in all seriousness, if you're a praying type, keep me in your prayers. Again, not to get too deep, too personal or anything like that, but eventually I'd like to settle down, get a wife, get married, have kids, all that good stuff. Obviously, that's way down the road, but who knows? Who knows? We'll see where it goes. We shall see where it goes. Commas are important. Oh, if you don't see in the chat, Laura said, call all caps her dummy all caps. And Daniel Baki said, commas are important, Lauren. Oh, you guys are funny. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that as soon as she said that, I was just kind of like, man, I don't know what to do with myself at this point. I'll probably screw it up, and be it the Lord, her luck. Whoop. Got 3 opportunities, and on the 3rd one, I finally did get a number. So Wish me luck that I don't screw it up. Right now I'm just going to kind of round it and clean it up a little bit. See if I can't make it look pretty. So, somebody said I can't wait to hear it from Troy's perspective. I'm sure from Dad's perspective, he could see all the like the little cartoon animations happening with like the the hearts and the starstruck and everything happening around, floating around my head. Then I gotta ask, why did they say putting the Ben Franklin closing on her? Let's stop the stream and use that number now. All right, I'll do one more heat of that, just trying to clean it up a little bit. Basically, I just wanted kind of the rounded corners on it. I'm gonna just make a kind of droop handle to go on it. So, Lauren's heading out. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much for stopping by. Good to see you again. Keep in touch, man. Woo! Got her a little sparky there. I don't know where our butcher block is. All right. I think that's pretty good, says the blacksmith as he hits it one more time and screws it all up. Sales technique. You point out all the great features, then ask her to point out the bad ones. If great is greater than bad, you win. Close. There you go. Make it pretty simple. Wise words, Jeff. Is she bona fide? She's a suitor. Oh man, you guys are funny. Too funny. All right, so now I want to figure out kind of how long I want this to go. So I want that kind of to set my mark up here. Tape measure. Picked up one of those little self-propelled punches, and from Harbor Freight, and it is not very powerful. If you guys know of a more high-quality brand of the little spring-loaded center punches, let me know. You know of one that's a little bit better, because like this one, like some of the copper stuff when I was working, this is fine because it barely hits. So on the copper being softer, it worked out good. But some of the metal stuff is just you might as well be writing on it trying to hit it with a pencil. So all right, so I want that, and then hook down. So I'm thinking, do I want to do 10 inches or 11? I think it's 10 inches. Yeah, it's not very powerful. Did you make her one of your world famous roses? Listen, I had a plan. If she was going to be there, I definitely had a rose ready to go. I would definitely have a rose ready to go, man. Yeah, see, like I'm having to search to see where I put that little punch at. Here it is. All right, cool. All right, I get my hot cut out. And then sit this in the fire. Bobby, I might even have got a little fancy with it and made the copper one. We had that blank cut out too. They're all junk. McMaster, okay. Check out McMaster. Well, hey, if somebody's good at engineering, engineer a good one, man. Engineer a good one. Probably should have a pair of tongs ready for that. Those will work. Seems really dark. I don't know. That light seemed like it just popped on. Yeah, the fluorescent lights are just kind of dying off. Eventually, we're going to get a little better system set up for them. Probably something similar to how we have in the machine shop. Those lights, the LED lights from Harbor Freight, we'll probably just swap them out up in the areas where those fluorescent box lights are, just to keep them in there. They still have the diffuser on them. But, yeah, the fluorescent lights are they're old, they're junky. They were kind of Dad got them on Facebook Marketplace from somewhere. They worked for the time being, so that's what we went with. Now that the shop's made some money and got time, we'll change them out. All right. See if I hit my mark here. we go. Alrighty, let's stick that guy back in the fire. Stick this guy in the tub. Sit that guy back home. Whoop! Come here, you. So anywho, that is the plan. I'm gonna take the crossbeam here and just kind of spread that bottom part out a little bit. Not gonna do too crazy to it. Then I will put a twist in it, put the bend in it, and then we'll be done. I'll rivet it together and I'll show you guys the end result. Maybe not on the stream, but in a Facebook post of some sort. Yeah. They're probably going to do a little bit of like file work and clean up on it as well, just to kind of keep it nice and clean. I'm not going to do too much more, maybe a little bit. It's kind of cockeyed. Do a little bit more kind of spreading around on it. Hey, listen, I'm not going to lie too. So, shook her hand, introduced myself. She got a strong grip. But yes, absolutely. I will I will definitely brag about the strongest grip behind the professional blacksmith in our grip challenge there. If unofficially, I have beaten Roy with the grip strength trainer or tester, but it's kind of one of those things that gym records only count if you have somebody around to prove it. So I unfortunately did not have anybody around, so I'm not going to sit here and try to claim that I beat him. Cool. So that's about that. Little planishing blows. Alrighty. So now I'm going to take that, put the kind of the hand bend on it. Find one of our bending jigs. See where I need to make the bend. Some of like the oxidation and coloring and everything on here makes it look kind of cool. Kind of got a interesting effect to it. All right, which side? That's the cleaner side, so I want that to be the side that I make the bend on. So I'm gonna do that. Get my jig out first before I do that. Where are our bending jigs? Donde está la bending jig? I don't know where our bending jigs are. There's the big ones. Where are the normal sized ones? You know what this is a wonderful time for? Take it away, Roy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bar Run Forge. It's Troy, and today's video sponsor is...
Have you ever had a stair crumbled up, torn apart, shiny forge weld, and wondered whether you should have had neutral flame or an oxidizing heat while searching for your favorite toilet spoon to pour on some white powdery crystal metal glue? Well, that's what it's like when you don't have Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux. When you grab a hold of a box of Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux, you feel like you've put the power of Hephaestus in the palm of your hand. And now you may even muster up the gumption to forge scrollwork without even using a hammer. So pick up a box of Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux today before you fall into a state of utter chaos that'll have you questioning your very existence. Flux.
Christ-Centered Ironworks brand Flux is not a registered trademark and is not available in 49 of the 50 states, especially in that state up north. Buy yours now for just 12 easy payments of $29.95, payable only in quarters.
Caution, Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux may cause severe irritation to Roy Adams. Please avoid using the words Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux around Roy. Do not use Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux in the vicinity of Roy Adams or he will be forced to tackle you to the ground and bludgeon you. Avoid saying the phrase flux, flux, flux. It will only anger Roy Adams and throw him into fits of temper and force him into a Roy rant, and no one wants that. Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux may cause eye irritation, runny nose, skin lesions, bad hair days, poorly fitting fire chaps, rheumatiz, slicing golf shots, uneven tire wear, pixies to appear, rickets, hammer toe, volatile screaming fits, unusual beard growth, ingrown toenails, silly songs with Larry, a mess, a giggling Jessica, and definitely not better forge weld. Please use responsibly.
Christ-Centered Ironworks brand flux.
I put that on everything.
Oh, that never gets old. Never gets old. And I see my good friend Bailey has made it in. Hello, Bailey. Said watching and baking muffins. She is a good cook. That I can assure you. Alright, we'll make a little bit of a benderoo. A little bit of a twisty in it, but that's okay. Speaking of twist, I was going to put a twist in it, and then I forgot. Whoops! Whoops, whoops. Maybe I'll do something different with it. I will put the touch mark on it, though, at some point. I got the question before I toast my piece here. Where was it? What kind of peppers do I use in my chilies? Jalapenos, green bell peppers, and colored bell peppers. And usually maybe like a little bit of poblano, or if I'm feeling wild, I'll put some small chunks of habanero in it. But usually I think it tastes good with the bell peppers and jalapenos. Kind of give it a good flavor, give it a good heat to it, but still not overpowering it. Daniel Box said, first date will likely be a smithing class with the whole family watching. That would be interesting. I can say there's probably not a lot of people who could say that a first date would be like that. So, Pueblo chilies, yeah. I have used the chilies and adobo sauce before. I didn't do it on this one. I was kind of going for a little bit different one. I wanted because I'm smoking the meat on it, especially smoking ground beef in a cast iron skillet overnight. So I don't want the peppers to kind of take over the flavor of the meat. So I'm not going to go crazy with some of the heat. Definitely will make sure it's got the right amount of spice and everything like that. But we'll see how it goes. I've made chili a total of 3 times in my life. Well, overcorrected it. Now I got to go back the other way. The fiddly bits, as John would say. Speaking of friends named John, definitely still keep John at Old Hickory in your prayers. The dude's been through a lot the past couple weeks and definitely needs our prayers and needs our support. So if you guys are able to help out with him financially, definitely do that. If not, sure, just words of encouragement and prayers are just as helpful. I pray nobody has to go through that for sure. So just keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and keep family of his fiance. I'm sure that's got to be difficult for them to lose a daughter, and of course all the people affected by the hurricanes. I know there's plenty of people that are still missing. I know there's people that are still struggling and still dealing with all this. So just keep all those people affected by the hurricanes in your prayers. Do that. Pick this guy up. Yeah, don't skip on the chili powder, smoked paprika. I definitely have some good smoked paprika. I found this place. We were, I want to say, past Louisville, towards like Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And it's a bourbon smoked paprika. I used it in my chili last year, and man alive, it's good. It's so good. It's bourbon smoked paprika, and then got the bourbon smoked sea salt and coarse ground pepper. So all smoked and bourbon seasoned. So it's so good. So yeah, hatch green chilies. I did throw a little bit of those in last time. I still got some from the last chili I made, so probably have to toss that in as well. I didn't know he was in the hospital. Well, daggone. Need some help with the chili recipe? I would be happy to assist. Hey, if you got chili recipes, definitely send them my way. I've got the one already for tomorrow, kind of ready to go, but I love a good pot of chili, so send it my way, man. Make some chili. A friend of mine, she is originally from kind of the Arkansas area. She's going to make a very Texas-inspired chili. She made one pretty much the same as last year. It was really tasty, so looking forward to that. There you have it. A little off on the touch mark, but doesn't look too bad. All right, so there's my kind of basic handle design. So basically, get that done. Put the ladle on it like that, like such, and then boom, chili scooping ladle, perfect for scooping your chili. So I will probably call it here because I need to get some food in my belly. And it's probably past 8 o'clock. It is 8:11. So yeah, I'll probably take a break here and grab a bite to eat real quick. And then yeah, finish this up and I'll post it up on the old Instagram and Facebook. And you guys can see the finished product. And then I'll take a picture of the chili and you guys can drool over it. So might do that for the gathering. We were talking about like what do we want to do next year for the Saturday afternoon meal. Although I know April usually isn't chilly weather, but It might be something we do next year. Do a big old cauldron of chili for maybe one of the meals. Who knows? Anywho, yeah, legs got crushed and then infected and set in. Good golly, man. That is awful to hear. That is awful to hear. Well, yeah. So there you go for tonight's prayer list. Keep the family of John over at Old Hickory Forge in your prayers after the loss of his whole basically life, his shop and place to live, and his fiance. And I know he's still struggling with some stuff left over from that with the injuries in the hospital. So just keep him in your prayers. If you can help out by any stretch of the way, do so. Cowboy Kent Rollins, we all know and love him, as many of us watch him on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So keep him in your prayers as well. Keep Michelle in your prayers. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with her tonight, but her and Dad are still at the hospital. Best of I know, I haven't seen or heard anything of them being home. So hopefully get some stuff figured out for Michelle and she'll get feeling better. Yeah. Pray the DI isn't shy and awkward. There you go. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back hopefully on our normal, regularly scheduled programming next week. Back to the usual stuff. Again, kind of once everything calms down towards the end of this year, our plan is to get more content put back on the channel. We're going to get this thing back up and rolling 2025, full steam ahead. So yeah, looking forward to it. I know it's a ways away, but it creeps up on you faster than you can remember. The gathering next year, as last weekend in April 2025. Put it on your calendars. It is up on the website. If you want to go ahead and RSVP for it, you can go right ahead. Let us know you're coming. Let us know who you're bringing. Make sure we have accommodations for you. We're going to try to do some other stuff as well. I know some people bring tents and things like that, so we're going to try to maybe upgrade some of the sleeping arrangements here as well. So be on the lookout for that. Most importantly, thank you guys so much. God bless. Take care. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and Rumble, and of course the website www.barrunforge.com. That's BARRUNFORGE.com. Guys, have a great night. See y'all. Love y'all. God bless. And goodbye.